Hello, my name is Caleb Wharton. I am a game designer and lead level designer for Silver Dragon Studio, and today I'm going to be showcasing our Sprint 2 and all the stuff that I got done. So go ahead and open up the game here. I'm going to do a little bit showing you in the game, and I'm going to show you a little bit in engine of what I also started at the end. So coming up here with the splash screen. Alright. Go through here, set it up really nicely for the level select. So we're going to go ahead and start the game. The first thing that I was tasked with doing was the core gameplay loop, making sure we had kill volumes, a win and a fail, and getting this first MVP level done. So this is our first MVP level. Actually, here I'm gonna restart this run just so that just so I can try to get a good time on it. So I made that little wisp that takes you around here, kind of guides the player through the first little bits of the level. See, as you go to every checkpoint, it'll stop at every checkpoint and wait for the player. If the player skips a spot or goes for a skip, then the wisp will simply... So if they go for a skip, the wisp will just stay at that checkpoint. So if players have already went through this game, and let's say they've gone to this checkpoint before, they can skip and not even trigger the wisp if they want, and it'll just keep it off their screen. They can also go ahead and disable it later on in the menus, is a function that we're going to be adding. Going through slicing them up here. We also added in the ability for the projectiles to now damage you. The projectile spawners last go around weren't damaging the player character. Up top you can see there's a rating system as well, and we finished the rating system up there. So I got gold for the kills, with 18 being mithril kills, 15 being my amount that I got. Mithril time is 40 seconds, I only got 58. I probably could have got mithril. Alright, so continuing downwards, after I finished the MVP level, I decided that I wanted to run it back, do a second level, and try to add in more types of traps. If we restart this, I can show you some of the... I'll show you some of the shortcuts here. So I've added this little shortcut. Each level we wanted to have shortcuts going around that the player can take and use to skip. I think I took the one on the right side over here earlier. Slow it down. The time dilation really comes in handy when you're going against these ranged enemies, because they shoot just monster shots at you. I took the right path there the last time, so this is the left path. Player does a little wall run around here. And then this little closing hallway I designed to have a little timer built into it, that the designer can just simply change up and make it so that it can be any duration that they want. Oh, I am completely turned around. And there we go. Dang, I still couldn't get it under. Oh my gosh, I'm being slow today. Alright, moving downward here. After finishing the first level, I wanted to break out and try to get some different mechanics going, and especially accentuate the branching paths that we had going on. So these are more so just templates to see where we can take the game kind of in the next few months, especially with designing our levels next month and getting everything kind of built out. We wanted to have oh, I dashed right off. We want to have kind of a little base that we could use to see what works and what just does not, what doesn't feel good, what feels the best. Coming through here, we wanted to have a lot of enemies, so I gave us multiple different paths. That left path sends you down here, with the right path sending you over here. right up on this side. There you go. And then for the right path, you can go back down there, or you can go back up here as well. It might take a wall run and a dash. If you want, you can even skip going all the way around the left, or going through the middle here is the normal way. There's a lot of enemies around the corner though, so if you go this way, you have to make sure that you are keeping an eye out for the enemies, because they will take you out. Oh. Even through here, they will shoot at you, like from a range. Anyway, I introduced this trap as well. This is more of a sliding trap. If you time it right in the editor, it has another timer just the same way that the other one's set up, and you can just slide right through it. There you go. It's supposed to make the player more aware of their slide. Trying to get the player to use their slide more often. So we built that in. This next area, I also added in a branching path. One up here for players that are good at wall running. Another one down there if players want to wall run, try to land on a platform, and then just dash off the platform and go down here. They don't even have to dash off the platform. They can simply just go and move down this way. And then at both of them, we have a ending that leads us to right here. This little drop down, where the players will be in a room filled with about 8 of these ranged foes. Oh, and they are absolutely toasting me right here. Run out of there. You can even turn around here. The nice thing that we added in this sprint as well is the loot flying back to you. I added in multiple paths there as well for the player to get around to the boss room, which has this trigger that lights up each of these candles, and that trigger volume also calls the boss down to start his animation and start the fight. Along with those doors, which are reusable, this entire podium is reusable. With Thomas working on our boss AI here, we really got creative and tried to make an arena that gave the player options to run around, save their mana, and tank them over here, launch shots. Oh my gosh! But he rains down on you from a distance if you don't get in too close. And once you get the base, we also changed spawning to only take, instead of 25% health, it takes, I think, 5%. He is really, oh my gosh, he is really gonna kill me here. We just kind of sit back a little bit and maybe launch some shots at him. Oh my gosh. This, the time dilation also comes in very handy. He has that little rain down AoE effect. Oh. There you go. Killed him there, and then we can go to this exit path. It would have been horrible if I would have just fallen there. And that gets us to the end, where we can see our time. I got bronze. I was quite slow with that. Our mithril time is 2 minutes, so if you want to keep replaying the levels, that's what kind of incentivizes the player to start replaying those levels, getting the better times, getting the better kills. You can see I got mithril for kills because I got 25 kills and the required is 22. Going into the gold and the soul runes, the players can collect gold throughout the run, which is used for temporary upgrades later on, and soul runes, which will be used for more permanent upgrades and buying new weapons, stuff like that. So, going back out here to the main menu, you might be able to see the shopkeeper in the toy box. Yeah, you can. So, out in the main menu here, we have this. These are just kind of showcasing how it's going to look in the actual game in the shop area. right here. So these are some of the weapons. The shopkeeper, you can go up and it presents a hold E to interact. Here, if we close out of this. Alright, so going over to the shop area, I wanted this to be more of an area that players could go to upgrade their player and also go over to practice their mechanics. So over here you can see that we have this massive sword sticking out of the ground, kind of pointing towards the shop area to show off the shop, as well as pointing to the other side, which is the training grounds, kind of guiding the player as they spawn in. This sword is also massive because it will be a tribute area that the player can go to spin their gold and cast tribute, gain extra buffs the next run that they do. Moving over to the shop area, you'll have all these swords and weapons unlockable based on certain criteria. We haven't added in the side display for the UI as well yet. We are looking to add in a side display that shows the description and any other information such as cost, stuff like that the player might need to know, the special ability. I added in the shopkeeper over here, trying to make it look like he's doing some blacksmithing. If you hold E to interact, he stops, and then it'll take you into the menu, and the menu currently just shows you, it currently just has all the information, various costs, the criteria that it costs, or the criteria that it requires, the stats. This is just a basic outline of how we wanted it to kind of be set up and laid out. Later on, I'm sure that we will make massive UI changes and massive UI adjustments to assets, of course, but it'll have just a simple purchase button over here. When it's unlocked, it'll be green. When it's locked, it'll be red. You can't do anything, but when it's green, it'll pull up the do you wish to purchase menu, and you can click yes. It'll populate that in the player, and then when you click no, it'll just take you right back out. Clicking the back button gets him back to blacksmithing and gets you back on your feet. Going over here, there's a little bar area just to make it so the player feels like there's actually a world to this. So it kind of immerses the player a little bit more, seeing that little area. This pops up some helpful text. Try to wall run. Can't get back up. Try to mantle. Okay. Awesome. Try to wall run. Let's go around here. We can also make it so that that text is also able to be shut off. Use dash to beat the wall traps. Walk through here and practice your different mechanics. If you die in one of these too, it just sends you right back to in front of the trap. So you die in that. This is easily accessible so that the player can just come over here. Let's say you're having difficulties getting your wall runs in each of the levels. You can just try to keep doing it back and forth if you want. And then as you progress further through this, I also added in a slide. There you can practice your sliding. And then going in here, this is a small little combat area with a couple of test dummies that I just got the melee enemies, and I took out some of their attacking so they just track you so the player can come in here. Let's say you just bought a new upgrade, you want to come over and try it out, you want to test using your new weapon or anything that you just bought in the shop. You come over to this area and get these enemies that are just tracking the player and just kind of put the onslaught on them. Test your different mechanics. Go practice on mantling up, different things like that. Coming in here, you have ranged enemies if you want to see how their different their patterns are, as well as attacking them and killing them. Moving into this area, it just circles right back into the shop. So it's easily accessible from both this way. If the player doesn't want to run through all the parkour, they can just come straight over to the training area. And if you wanted to restart, for instance, you could easily just go to the pause menu and restart. But overall, that the upgrade menu is looking like it's getting ready to roll out in this next upcoming sprint when we add in some of the upgrades on the player character. And with the adjustments and everything to the various MVP levels, I think that we're all very excited to get these levels rolled out and kind of fleshed out this next month or two. So overall, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.